Today we're going to be assessing an intervention activity. Before introducing my specific intervention, it's important to clarify what an intervention's purpose is. An intervention seeks to boost the effectiveness and success of organizations, teams, groups, and individuals. Some common goals include problem solving, enhancing relationships, defining roles and objectives, and building critical skills. In our field of industrial organizational psychology, as you see in this picture, interventions can be applied in various areas, such as policy planning, employee testing and selection, designing, training, and development programs, improving managerial practices and procedures, aligning work styles, increasing productivity, and conducting organizational analysis. So now I'm going to be giving you an overview of my intervention activity, which is the 360-degree feedback. So a little history surrounding the feedback is the concept of how it was put into the military first. So what kind of created and popularized this intervention? So the concept of the 360-degree feedback, as I said before, can be traced back to the 1930s. So almost 100 years ago, when the German military introduced it as a technique for evaluating military candidates. So their method aimed to enhance the selection process by examining each candidate from multiple perspectives and angles. So fast forward about 60 years later, in the 1990s, is when it went into industry. So that's why we're curious about it now. Why is this concept so important in industrial organizational psychology? So, the purpose of this intervention, what was it designed to accomplish? So it was designed to heighten the awareness of the appraiser's expectations. So what does this mean? The 360-degree feedback process can clarify the unspoken assumptions and expectations we hold towards one another, making them more explicit. So in a way, this anonymous survey kind of brings to light our unconscious biases and how we truly feel in the organization. So in a way, it kind of enhances work behaviors and performance because it's more out in the open now. You can discuss it. We could put action plans together to make the workplace more efficient because we know how everybody feels in the workplace. So the third concept is kind of just culminating all in this, is it kind of reduces the undiscussables. So in a sense, it kind of breaks down those barriers that everyone can kind of tell how they feel, and the organization can kind of see all the employees and the teams and the dynamics on full effect and kind of go from there to make the workplace more efficient, which is kind of the main goal within interventions and also in consulting and industrial organizational psychology, is to make the workplace more efficient. So by doing these kind of formal 360-degree feedback processes, it kind of opens the door for more informal 360-degree performance reviews because people are more comfortable sharing their opinions and how they truly feel, and there's an environment that's inclusive and no one's going to judge you or feel a certain type of way because you're voicing your opinion, how you truly feel. So finally, it kind of grows in the management learning because the management kind of learns how people are feeling, and they could kind of work through where they go from there and what they can do to make the organization more efficient and kind of address the problems that are highlighted in these reviews. Although they usually are individualistic, they could also be targeted through teams, and kind of the culmination of the data kind of plays to the picture of what the organization truly is and what can be done to fix the problems that arise due to just working in general and different personalities working together. So a little evidence behind what makes this intervention so effective It actually fosters greater trust in upper management, and it kind of plays into the purpose. It kind of has everything open on the thing. There's no undiscussables. They kind of discovered that when a performance appraisal process is viewed as fair, it leads to greater trust in upper management because it's seen as equitable and that everyone's on the same playing field. Another bit of evidence to show the effectiveness is the multi-rater feedback system, such as presented in the 360 feedback, can help minimize the impact of errors and biases from raters. So it kind of enhances the chances that an organization can back its personnel decisions without facing legal challenges, which is very important in our industrial world because they could get sued and then it could be even more hassle for the organization. So by having this evidentiary surveys and tests and these interventions within the company, both formal and informal, it actually provides the evidence needed to support a certain fire or a hire of a personnel because they have the full spectrum of who they are as a person and the different dynamics that present in the workplace because of them. So finally, my last bit of evidence is that managerial effectiveness showed marked improvements over 2 years when managers received 360 feedback evaluations. So in a sense, this kind of shows the marked improvements over a 2-year span when managers received the feedback, and the growth was especially noticeable in areas such as external awareness, human resource management, financial acumen, as well as communication and interpersonal skills, all which are very important within the industrial world and kind of show which aspects that this intervention targets and what actually makes it such a good intervention and widely used by 85% of organizations worldwide. So finally, we're going to be discussing the analysis of the findings. So the potential pros and the cons of the intervention based upon the evidence. So some of the pros. It gives a well-rounded perspective of the employee. So by using the kind of 360 approach, you kind of get all the perspectives of everybody, and it makes more of a well-rounded view of the person and their different behaviors, the dynamics, the attitudes. A lot of this is fostering communication because in this survey it's usually anonymous, so they kind of feel comfortable with saying what's on their mind and issues that might not come up in the workplace if it wasn't anonymous. And it helps with potential shortcomings within the organization and for managers and the organization to address these concerns to make the workplace more efficient. So ultimately, it enhances the team dynamics because it takes into account everything that's going on in the workplace and all the different perspectives, that kind of whole 360 approach to it. So some cons. There is some cons to it. So it could potentially be biased because it's self-report. So that's just in the nature of the surveys and just what people feel and their beliefs. It's all based upon their opinion. So these opinions can kind of foster these unpleasant feelings about certain individuals and the organization. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes there's bad feelings that come around with just certain dynamics and personalities meshing together. The only real issue I find with this intervention is that it can be implemented poorly, which could pretty much lead to these negative dynamics because there's extraneous variables coming in and influencing the results of the surveys. So what is my recommendation? Should this intervention be used? Personally, this intervention is valuable for uncovering specific interventions and insights in the workplace dynamics that might otherwise go unnoticed, like I've been just repeating. However, it is crucial and critical to implement it correctly, as there may be risk of biases and validity concerns. So, in general, it's a very efficient intervention. It just comes with the caution that you have to implement it correctly, and there might be biases because of the nature of the assessment. Thank you guys so much. If you have any more questions, feel free. Let me know. I'm here to answer all of them for you.